Hello, my name is Frances Fox. I'm a trained government remote viewer, also trained in interspecies communication and all the other psychic skills that all humans have. We are in Revelations. It's a time on the planet when what happens is not that everybody decides to say everything, but that the veils that hold back information have lifted. There's no place to hide. There's no place for the bad people to hide, for the bad information to hide. Now, the people that would like to control us, society, the planet, on planet and off planet, knew this in advance. And what they did was they created the whole disinformation campaigns so that it reaches a point where we don't even know what's true and what's not true, and then throw in AI. Why am I talking about this now? The Epstein file issue. I don't know where I read on X today that maybe it was done by AI. It doesn't really matter. It was in the hands of the intelligence community of this country for a long time. You think they didn't mess around with it? You guys really need to grow up. Actually, last week, I was told that I would be going through an incredible humiliation. And I assumed it was black magic because they do black magic to humiliate you. And I don't exactly know how that works, but it was this week because somebody told me something else that I realized that there was a potential that I be in those files, the Epstein files. That's a little bit difficult. Same line of work, sex trafficking. I was a sex trafficking victim, but my age. I actually don't remember anything about him. I don't have any knowledge of that, to my knowledge. But it's interesting that I was told that the intelligence community wanted to humiliate me so that nobody would pay attention to me. And then this whole thing about the list, and maybe Trump is on it. Shame. You have to take care of the shame reaction so that nobody can. Okay, go ahead, say whatever you want. Now, I have been open since the 90s, and I still had a part of me that was operational in terms of mind control. It wasn't until 5 or 7 years ago that I realized who my handler was. I kind of like woke up to that part of my life, which was totally operational, unfortunately, because he wanted to get another member of my family involved, one of my grandkids. And it was the my rage at that was enough to pull me out of that stupor that this man, it's not a stupor, it's mind control, hypnosis, and all sorts of other things. But anyway, the point of the matter is that the whole Epstein list is creating a lot of confusion. And that's why it's so important that your instinctive knowing be totally operational, which is what I'm trying to teach you. You have the ability to know everything in the past, the present, and the future. That's been proved time and time again. I think Carl Jung even said that in his own mysterious way because he didn't want for people to say he was crazy, which he wasn't. So, but Revelations is not just about bad things. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with the Epstein thing. I know that maybe it's holding back my life a little bit, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and pretend that the bad guys are scared enough that I'm going to be able to be free. I have to move anyway within like 30 days. So, wish me luck on that one. I've moved 8 times in 8 years, literally, and not small apartments. The first place I moved to was 5 bedrooms. And then I went down to 4. It's just me. Don't ask. It's going to get really interesting in Revelations. But here, the archaeologists are going to need bodyguards. Why? But not really the archaeologists. People that discover things that go against what we have been allowed to believe in. The history that was presented to us by the archaeologists, by their findings. And I'm sure that they did not lie at that point. But what they did was they said, it stops here. We found it. That's it. No, sir. The map that I keep drawing for the United States keeps showing Mayan pyramids coming up out of the ocean in Mexico. What does that mean? Not 100% sure, but I suspect we're going to be finding these incredible. I'm seeing it already on X in the news. They're finding this incredible information about the Mayans and all across the world. In the United States, there's pyramids. Are we allowed to believe that there are pyramids in the United States, or is God going to strike us down with lightning? Well, the archaeologists would want for God to strike us down with lightning. How dare we go out of the paradigm that they prepared for us, which doesn't include acknowledging the real existence of what used to be called gods in mythology, which basically are human beings with superpowers. So that's is what's coming up next. That is going to be discovered. And I think a lot of that has already been discovered, but we're like, oh, gee, I wonder why they would draw somebody with just one eye and the third eye in the forehead. Oh, gee, why do they draw all these men that are like 7 feet tall? Oh, they didn't have anything else to do, and the pencil had more lead, so let's make them tall. Give me a break. That is not good science. When you can see the same thing over and over and over and over again, and you whitewash it because it doesn't fit into the paradigm that our scientists, archaeologists gave us, then you know what? Get out of the field or just get out of everything, because what you are is basically a liar. You are allowing untruths to continue. This is a very exciting time to be alive. It's also very distressing. What a mess. But human beings are not programmed. We are set up to have for superpowers in our third eye, that third eye in the dollar bill that everybody's, oh my God, the conspiracy. Yes, it's a conspiracy to give you wisdom and power. And you're not taking it because you're too busy pointing your finger at these cults and these groups. Why the hell do you think they made it a secret? Why do you think it's a secret even today? Because you can't take it. No, 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 no. Where's that in the Bible? I don't know where it is in the Bible. What kind of a reference is that? When your kid has appendicitis, do you run to the Bible? Where is this in the Bible? Well, you could say Jesus Christ cast out spirits, so let's take the spirits out. No, we don't do that either. Guys, grow up. Welcome to end times, but welcome to Revelations. All those kids with the superpower and all those movies, just like The Matrix, the reason it resonates is because it's true. So why don't we get out of all these people's ways and celebrate what they've done? And this guy, of course, I'm going to forget his name because I'm programmed not to remember people's names by the government. But the guy that did that series, the second series was not so good. The first one was excellent. um, Ancient Apocalypse, I think it's called, where he found all these places and the information is totally incompatible with what we have been allowed to believe in up till now. So let me take it to my next thing, which is not really the next thing. What's the similarity between the Epstein file release and the whole alien release? We know there's aliens. We know they landed on the planet. We know they have bodies. We know the governments negotiate with them. We know that, but we've known that forever. We know that throughout history they're in the cave walls and we know that. But we are not allowed to talk about it like intelligent people unless the government confesses. So you have all these people waiting for the government to confess to what? Just something that's been known throughout history? What is the matter with you guys? What's the matter? But you have the same thing with the Epstein list. You already know a lot of the players. You know a lot of the victims. But you're waiting for the same blankety blank government that mind controls all of you. You're waiting for them to give you that official list Who the hell knows what it is now with all those decades and AI and the incredible savvy of the intelligence community, the weaponized intelligence community? We don't know, but you have enough information. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for having to do with the aliens? You know what you're waiting for? You're waiting to give your responsibility over to other people. You don't want to be responsible for yourself, for your society, for your kids. Don't give me all this screaming thing about the whole autism and the injections because everybody continued taking the injections. You continued. You stood in line and then they went with the plague and you stood in line. And most of you, not all of you, I didn't get injected, but then I'm crazy. So, what can I tell you? That unfortunately has a very logical explanation. And that is that the paradigm that we have been living in, and is the paradigm that the Bible covered, is a paradigm in which male dominated hierarchy was in control. Doesn't mean male bodies, it could be a female with her male energy being in control. In male dominated hierarchies, whoever is at the top, the priest, the Pope, the President of the United States, the teacher in the class, the father in the family, they are in a privileged position in which they're not to be questioned and they're to be defended against people that would go against them. And if something bad about them comes out, then it is really the obligation of the people underneath, which is basically everybody, to kind of ignore it, let it slide off. The Catholic Church has been involved in sex trafficking for centuries, not decades. So, and there've been accusations, they've had houses of prostitution, whatever. Those are human behavior. Nobody got upset about it and actually stood up and said no more until relatively recently. But the behavior is no different. Now, thank God people are waking up. So here's the trick. A lot of stuff is going to be discovered on almost a daily basis. It's going to be very good for us and it's going to put us in contact with the fact that mythology was accurate. And I don't really know a lot about mythology. It was accurate. People had superpowers. There were beings that flew around that we would classify as gods because we're not aware of our abilities. And that's going to come up every day. There's going to be new information. So if you are controlled by male dominated hierarchy and you're a traditionalist and you follow the Bible, but the Bible said you're supposed to kill one of your kids. No, not that part. You know what? I'm trying to give you a benefit that my control, not my handler, my control gave me, which is the ability to actually think regardless of the information that's in front of you. You must maintain that clarity and that ability because things are going to get even messier. What is this? Things are going to get even messier. The amount of information that's going to get thrown at us. And you need to be able to trust yourself. And we need to go back to the Mayans. They have a lot of good stuff. So let's go ahead and let's do the map. I think I talked too much. Here's the map. It looks good. You figure it out. I don't understand. I just sketch. I assumed last week with the thing with the Epstein file that everything was going to fall apart. That's it. We're never going to get back on track. Well, look at the map. Now, the lines that are vertical come from off planet. And that red is that alien attack on planet Earth. Before I used to sketch Canada just with the horizontal red lines, which meant their Schumann resonance was too hot. And then, oh, I don't remember what date it was, not this Saturday, but the previous, we are now under an alien attack with psychotronic weapons with the element of fire, which is what makes people mentally ill, makes people kill other people, kill themselves, fall into these incredible depressions, burn up, need more water, more water, more water. Anyway, Canada not doing well. A week ago, the United States had horizontal red lines. And I may have the map right here. I do. And this would have been July 10. Nope. We're going to get it here? No, we're not going to get it here. Take this a second. July the 10th. You can tell I organized my desk. Here. That's July the 10th. See the horizontal? It was red in the United States. It's not red. It's green. Oh my God, how'd that happen? And then we have triple Galactic Federation protection, and the outside is green, and the lines are very thick. Green is the color of the heart chakra. And then in the middle, I put Trump 1. And that's kind of what we all felt the day they tried to kill him. So there's something about going under and then coming back up again. And then we have the Schumann resonance is green. The Schumann resonance is the heartbeat of the planet plus several other things. It's not just the heartbeat, okay? But I don't know what the rest of the stuff is. And then we have the pyramids, and they don't have the brown at the bottom, and I'm not quite sure what that means, but I think it's something like really good. So now you can all say, that's because you love Trump. No, 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 no. I think you don't understand my training. It doesn't really matter if I love Trump or don't love Trump. Because when I sketch all of the garbage that people send, I sketch that too. When they, here, oh, this was the 7th of June. So we were, oh, look how interesting. This is the 7th of June, of July, which is a portal, 7-7. And we had, the vertical lines were in red, and it says at the top, we're under psychotronic attack. Okay. It's overwhelming, this amount of information. So the United States has stabilized. I don't know what decisions were made in Congress or not in Congress. It doesn't really matter, because the whole archaeological thing is interesting. What is interesting about it? That we are in the era in which humans are going to access and use their superpowers. That's what I teach, white magic. And the archaeologists, the ones that have already published, are not going to be happy. Who's going to go tell them that all that mythology that we were required to study was actually real? And now what do we do with that information? Well, maybe you need to take care of your third eye, which I think with all the superheroes is so important. Oh, I did a class today on the thyroid. I'm learning such interesting things. Off-planet beings have tried to control human beings forever. We see that in the mythology. They have the battles. So I'm in my little thyroid class, and I'm trying to give a healing on the heart chakra, and I keep getting this sheet of paper that's put in front of me that, what was on the sheet of paper? I don't remember. It had to do with the body. And I was, okay, so I'm missing something, and my masters are trying to tell me something. So anyway, what basically it was is that in 1960, which was the year that we had a photograph for the first time of the other side of the moon, I don't know if that's what triggered it, but we got an implant, a galactic implant. You don't believe in those? It's okay. Don't let it slide off of you. Just, that's a piece of information. The same way Adam Schiff has mind controlled a significant percentage of Congress. Can you imagine off-planet beings that are so much more what they've done? So back off. So here we got an implant, which basically bottled up the center axis energy, which is where you're supposed to go up, 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 till you finally reach your third eye, and then whoop, you flower. This was shut down and locked down. So most of our energies don't leave past here. They get stuck there because there is a literal metallic block there, which I unblocked, and it would appear that when I do that, I'm doing it for the whole planet. And if you believe that story, then that's really sweet of you. But I have to give you the information I give. If I limit myself to what falls within your paradigm, you don't need to come back to this chat podcast. It would be a waste of time. If I don't, if I went forward, was forced to go forward, and got all this information, I'm coming back and delivering it to you. You don't have a place to put most of it. It's okay. You just take it in. Okay. I don't know who my new handler is because I think mine is on his deathbed. He, I believe, is still holed up in the offices across from that bank, across from the Coral Gables Hyatt. Now, they ran him out of there the last time I talked about this, but he's back there. And he's sleeping on chairs lined up so that he ends up with several chairs together and he can sleep on there. He is not doing well, but he's still operational. Why is he still operational? This is the guy that's intimate friends with Adam Schiff. Why is he still operational? Anyway, so I don't know who my new handle is. I don't know who my new control is. Maybe I won't have any. What a novel concept. So you're going to have a whole country of thousands of people that are mind control victims with no authority figure. Huh, that's interesting. I have no idea what the consequences are of that. For me, great. But I've done 35 years of therapy. So let's go into something that's important to you. Your body. This whole issue of the battle between male and female, it's really big. Oh, yeah, traditionally male and female. I'm talking about your body now. So, if you have problems with your bladder, well, but I only have problems because I'm 85, or I only have problems because I'm 65, and most people, no, 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 no. Old paradigm. How many times does science say you renew all your cells in 72 hours, 7 weeks, however long it is, I don't remember, everything gets renewed. So then, no, 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 no. If you have a problem with your bladder, you hate the opposite sex. Well, I don't hate the opposite sex. I'm not gay. I didn't say that. What's the matter with you? If you were born and when you were 4, your grandmother got sick and your mother had to leave to take care of your grandmother for 2 weeks, and you're 4 years old and you don't know what the heck is going on, your mother abandoned you and you hate her for leaving you. And then she comes back, oh my God, everything's fine. No, it's not. You have a trauma. And there is not a fingerprint and not a footprint. There is a scar on your mind that creates a little twirling. And that trauma repeats. Loss of female figure. So when you get married, it's possible that you're going to lose your mate. Let's say you're a man and you marry a female. It's possible you may lose your mate to circumstances that nobody can control. Like you're in 2 different countries and her mother is sick and so she has to leave to take care of her mother. Oh, that happened when I was a child. And that is the problem. That's called a vasana, and it's a deep-rooted impression in your mind. And it's talked about in the Lord's Prayer in Aramaic. Not the Lord's Prayer that you learned, because the Lord's Prayer that you learned and that I learned really makes us a victim. Very much male-dominated hierarchy. God, please deliver us from evil. That's not what the Lord's Prayer said. It says, help us to be in the moment, which means help us to be landed, grounded, which means enough of the earth element inside of you, around you, in your assemblage of bodies. So if you have bladder issues, just go directly. Don't pass go. Don't collect the $200. Just go directly to the mantra, Fox Purification Mantra. Even though I hate, let's say you're a man and you have problems with your bladder or you're prostrate. You go, even though I hate women, I love and accept myself. If you're a woman and you have problems with your bladder, Then you go, even though I hate men, I love and accept myself. I don't hate men. Listen, you're talking concepts. And I'm talking about accumulation of bad nanoparticles of emotion, of anger, because your mother left you when you were 4 years old, because her mother was sick. Or your father died when you were 7. He abandoned you. Loss of male figure. So then you hate men because they're going to leave you, because the most important one in your life, which was your father, he left. He died. At age 7, that doesn't make a difference. He abandoned you. Therefore, you have a pattern of abandonment, which makes you depressed, but also angry, and you don't even know it. But part of that anger is in your bladder. Got it? How do I know this? I just came up with that. No, I give classes and I give chats and we go after different things. And that is the problem. Women get more cystitis, which is problems with bladder, when they go on their honeymoon. Well, but that's understandable. No, it's not. It is understandable if it triggers, you're a female, your father left, your father was unfaithful, whatever, or your brother, whatever. It makes sense. You're stuck on a honeymoon with somebody who represents the opposite sex, and look what they did to you when you were 5. So, every part of your body that you get sick, it has a congestion of particles, astral particles, and a thought, and then, of course, the spirits that came in, because already you have a portal there. That's why Jesus Christ, the first thing he did was take out spirits. So, again, don't tell me you're a Christian. Don't tell me you're a Christian. And you get real uncomfortable when I talk about the fact that exorcisms are very easy and you have a spirit attached. Do not get uncomfortable. Why were you not uncomfortable when Christ did it? What's the problem here? Whatever the problem is, you need to resolve it, because the problem on the planet, every single problem on the planet, is influenced or continues to be a problem because of spirit influence. So denying that, okay, we're never going to have an efficient medicine. Taking care of spirits is not that difficult. That's what Ayurveda, Chinese medicine, and shamanism does. Now, modern medicine, I don't know how the hell they're ever going to get there. I don't know how the hell in medical school they're going to say, we really left out a really big component of healing. We did. We left out a big component. Really? What's that? You mean the proper nutrition, minerals? No, spirits. Oh, but we don't believe in spirits. Am I being too sarcastic? I think I'm angry. The Epstein file thing really complicates my life. So, and for those who are female and who are still menstruating, if you have painful menstruations, or if you used to, it's 1000% guarantee you're going to take care of it if you do the mantra, even though I hate men, I love and accept myself. Within 30 days, you will no longer have pain at that time of the month. It's that simple. Okay, I finished, but we are going to do, you have to remember to do the shame mantra, because Revelations is going to show everything. The same way you will remember things that were done to you and that you did when you were young. Oh my God, I didn't remember that. So is everybody else. So if there's something that you did in your past, and there has to be, or you would not have stayed on the planet, you would have already finished evolving. That's it, you're gone. Do the shame mantra. Because what did I tell you yesterday? You only have a problem if you need it. You're not going to be publicly shamed. It doesn't matter what you did if you do the shame mantra, because there will be no need for that to come up unless there's a different need. And just do the shame mantra. Even though I'm ashamed, I assaulted. her. I love and accept myself, whatever. Just do it. You don't have to tell anybody. That's the good news about all these mantra things. You don't have to tell a soul. So let's go ahead and do. I'm going to put the music on for the second energy center, which is the sacral energy center that's about sexuality, creativity, manifestation. Look how interesting. Sexuality and creation is in the same energy center. Well, our biggest creation is our children. And that's the energy center that deals with that. And we need to figure that one out because of population collapse. But I'm not going there. I'm going to put on that music, which means that the images and the frequencies are to help clear that energy center. And you are going to, if you're a male, you're going to do the mantra, even though I hate women, I love and accept myself. And if you're female, you're going to do the mantra, even though I hate men. You can click off now if you want, but you should stay because you might find it very interesting. So let me get the music and then I will put up the mantra, which is very simple, but just in case. Okay. And remember that this is a planet of duality, and that's the problem. We have not been taught that our dark side is as important as our light. We've been taught to be ashamed of our dark side, to hide it, to ask for forgiveness. We've not been taught that many times we behave poorly in order to help somebody else out. And I'll just say a short story and then we'll finish. Years ago, I had a friend and I liked her a lot. She was nice. And we would make appointments to have lunch. And 4 times in a row, I forgot the appointment. I forgot. And she would show up or she would call, I'm on my way. And I would say, on your way to what? We're supposed to have lunch. 4 times. I mean, that's not my style. It's not. And at the end, I said to her, listen, we're not going to make any more dates for lunch because there's obviously something going on here. This is very disrespectful on my part. I said, but I think you need to ask why this would be happening. And of course, at that point, I was still a little bit fuzzy. But what needed to happen was she was a Miss Goody Two Shoes. You could have kicked her in the face and she would have said she was sorry. I mean, obviously, something's the matter with that, but that's the way she was raised. So there was a part of me, not the conscious part of me, that was not even remembering that I had agreed to go to lunch 4 times in a row. There was a part of me, my spirit, determined to shake her up for her to show anger, to express. She didn't, so I quit. I said, I don't want to be caught up. I don't know what I'm caught up in because I didn't understand it then. But whatever it is, I don't want to be part of this. So no more trying to get together for lunch. You need to remember that. And that doesn't mean that you excuse yourself and do all sorts of things that people would consider bad. What you need to consider is that if something bad is happening, somebody needed for that to happen, such as the Epstein file situation. What should we be learning about that? That Trump is not as honest as he was or said he was? No, no. I think it was as shocked as everybody else. What is it? I don't know. But you have to ask that question because the answer to that question means that the problem, you won't have it anymore. But that applies to everything. Like when you go to the psychologist because your kid is acting out, at least years ago when I had kids that were small, the psychologist would say the same thing. Leave the kid at home. We need to talk to you, the parents. Okay? So that's the bad news. You are responsible for everything bad that happens. But that's the good news because that means that you can take care of it. You did it. Probably a good reason, but maybe you'll never figure that out. But you did it. Therefore, you can stop doing it. I want you to notice how much smaller my left eye is than my right eye. This is the left eye of Horus, and it has to do with stress, emotional stress. So when you sit across from somebody and their left eye is limping or one of your kids, you might want to ask what's going on, anything I can help you with. Maybe just talking about it will make you feel better. Okay? So I'm here in these podcast chats, I'm going to be teaching you a lot of little basics um, that is going to give you a lot of extra information. Because most of the time when people talk, it's not that much truth that comes out of their mouth.